not be tuning over. But if you are, let's say our thoughts on that one, feel free to skip around. But if you're enjoying the full show, welcome. I'm glad to have you. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button if you are excited for tonight's stream. I love having craft distilleries on. Like I said, it's been a minute since I've had one on, but just hearing the passion and just the great whiskey come out of all across the country, not just Kentucky, gets me really, really excited. So I'm really excited for tonight's stream. I just want to say hello to a few folks in the chat. I saw Donnie was running late, but it seems he has made it here on time. Good to see you, Donnie. I see Brandon is here. Brandon, good to see you, man. I'm going to be doing a stream with Brandon an upcoming Saturday. Is it next Saturday, Brandon? I actually forgot. I got to check my calendar. But so excited to have you over. We're going to do a blind flight together. He's going to blind me with some samples. I'm going to blind him with some samples. We'll see where it goes. I'm excited for that one. Lil is joining us all the way from Australia. Good to see you, Lil. I'm glad you made it home safely from your American journey here. Thank you, Donnie, for dropping the Patreon info. As usual, we'll be doing our after party hangout after the stream. Y'all know where to find me over on Discord. Looking forward to drinking with y'all, having a few more pours there. Who else is here? Emily Chambers is here. Oh, new name. I love it. Team Winch, good to see you, Emily. Thank you for holding down the fort here tonight. Zopher is here. Ben Hernandez is here. Adam Free. Wow, the whole gang's here. And hopefully a lot more. Oh, Fred's watching from Adam's house. That's exciting. I had it. Hope y'all are on the hangout. I can't wait to talk to y'all. But like I said, those of you that are joining us live, welcome. But if you're watching the replay, definitely leave a comment down below with your favorite Filibuster Distillery release. Well, speaking of Filibuster, let's bring on the man himself. Please welcome Sid Dilawri from Filibuster Distillery. Welcome, Sid.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for reaching out. So I love exploring different distilleries from all across the country. Like I said, I've had a couple of I've actually had a few whiskeys from Virginia. It seems to be like the popping place to like be a craft distiller. Have you noticed like a huge like growth there?
Yeah, because Virginia is the birthplace of whiskey. You know, the Mount Vernon, that was the first distillery in the country. So, you know, it has to be, Virginia is getting into hang of it. And just to let your viewers know, I'm Sid, I'm the founder and the CEO of Filibuster Distillery. So, and I am very excited to drink. Actually, this is a legal
yes, same.
So I get a full right to drink now. So that I'm more excited to that. I don't have to fight with my wife to have a glass of drink. So that is completely a good excuse that I am promoting. I'm doing business. I'm working. So
Absolutely.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to drink at the late this time.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate you joining so late. I know it's always so difficult with time zones. Like I just got off work, so it's like it's so hard to coordinate with the East Coast distilleries. But I appreciate you taking the time to sit here and chat with us and tell us about this distillery. I'm really glad to have you here.
Cool. Yeah, thank you. So coming back to your question, you said Virginia has a lot of distilleries. So one of the big factors why it is because Virginia is one of the it is actually the birthplace of spirit. So, you know, the first president, to give you a little bit of history, President George Washington has his distillery in Mount Vernon. So it's about 20 minutes where I live. I grew up in India, but when I came here, I used to live in Alexandria, Virginia, which is the same town where Mount Vernon Distillery is. So it was about 20 minutes from where I was. So Virginia is a great place because of a great weather, because of a great water source. We are in the same Cosmore Belt where we have a higher limestone Blue Ridge Mountains. Our distillery is about close to 80 feet of limestone water. So that's the key factor to make a great whiskey. You know, I mean, either you can have a doctor who can make you a good water, or you become where you have a source. You just be there where the source is. And we are very lucky where our distillery is. We sit on 3 limestone wells, and they are all about close to, 1 is artisanal well and 2 are regular well. So we are very proud of where we are, and we are glad that, you know, we chose that property where we are.
Absolutely. Well, so filibuster is relatively new, but I mean, I'm curious to hear like what your journey was to get to this point to be the CEO of this distillery. Like, what inspired you? When did you know that you wanted to get into the spirits industry?
It's never a big fun to be a CEO of a smaller distillery. Yeah, there are a lot of challenges. You're working late, which is a fun. But it's end of a day, I think so. It is nothing but a blessing to be where we are. And so, how Filibuster came into existence is that our family owns a retail store in DC. That's how my first foray into the world of spirits came into. So I'm a computer graduate, never got a job. So I started working in a liquor store to pay the bills. The couple of guys who I used to work in DC, very nice, super kind people, explored or actually gave me an opportunity of an array of whiskeys in the world. So that was my first a big foray into this big world of whiskeys or brown spirits. So before in a college, I was a white spirits drinker. But when I joined them, started drinking or started learning about whiskeys, I think so. I didn't straight away, but then I developed this passion about the brown spirits, because I come from originally from India, and we drink Scotch like any. There is nothing else, like
Right.
that's it.
Isn't India like the biggest importer of Scotch just in the world? Like it's huge there.
Yeah,
Just whiskey there is crazy.
yeah, 1.2 billion people, so they have to
Right.
drink. You know. So yeah, it's definitely we are Scotch drinkers, but so when I started I started drinking early in my life about a Scotch, but when I first tried the bourbon, I just developed that passion towards that, and then I became a wine spirit buyer for our family store in DC, though I had a job as well. And then that was like a just that just experience can explain it. Like it just went into it, and I enjoyed every bit of bourbon. Like that just completely blowed me out. That what corn, rye, and barley can do, and then what it really brings out.
Absolutely, and that's why we're all here today. Like that's the reason I started the channel. I grew passionate about it. I didn't really when I was in college. I didn't really drink bourbon either. It wasn't until like right shortly after I graduated, and then I started kind of doing my research. It's like, oh, I want to be a little bit fancier than just doing mixed vodka drinks because that was college for me. So it wasn't until after that I started doing my research and just learning so much about the industry, just the different distilleries, and I mean at this point like gosh, I have several hundred bottles in my house just because I'm so like excited about it. So that's why I started this channel, and I agree that it's hard to explain that passion, but there's something that's just so magical about it, being America's native spirit, and that's what I'm really excited about, sharing, especially newer craft distilleries. It's just a great moment in whiskey history, I think.
I think I'm very I'm very excited to be a part of this craft movement, and I think everybody is doing a great job. Everybody is trying to bring up a new something newer. Like
Mhm.
obviously everybody wants to try it. It cannot be perfect on the first get go, but as far as the craft industry, we all can just be what we are and try to bring up a unique expression. That's what makes us unique. Like that's what it's all about, the craft industry. And I am very proud to be a part of the all the craft distilleries.
Absolutely. So before we get into some of these whiskeys here, we have four expressions that we're going to be drinking tonight. I saw a few other people joining in. I just want to say hello. I see that Joe Kelly is new here. Adam and Donnie with the invite. Hey, welcome, Joe. Good to see you. Thank you for watching tonight. I saw a few others. Women of Whiskeys is here. Another amazing YouTube channel here. Y'all go make sure to subscribe to them. Swan is here. Yeah, just want to make sure I caught the new people coming in. Well, so let's drink some whiskey, right? That's what we're here for. So the first one I think you said is the Boondogler. Tell
Yes.
me about the name. Like, tell me about this whiskey.
So Filibuster was born in DC and raised in Virginia. So why the name Filibuster came into it? Because when we first started off this project, we wanted to be in DC because we have a relationship in DC and we want to be in DC. So that's how the name Filibuster came into existence. So then the extension line wanted to become as this as well. So the boondogler, one of our finance managers who came to the distillery to do his normal inventory, and he was just doing it. So he came in. It was me and our blending team was all doing something, working on this blend. So we had a barrel, bring up a barrel, do a blend, put it back, and we would just keep doing it. We were just playing around with the barrel. So he walked away with a sarcasm, "Can you stop boondoggling?" So boondoggle means being busy getting nothing done. So according to him, we were not doing anything. And that's what distillation world is. Like you sit there for 4 years and you people think that you're not doing anything, but technically there is something cooking up in that barrel. So that's what the boondoggle, that's how it came into existence, boondoggling. So boondoggle, it's a blend of bourbon and a rye. One of the main factors what filibuster does is we are grain to class. I exactly know where every drop of corn or grain comes from. Like we do not buy a grain from a one big merchant house or a broker who's out in Midwest somewhere supplying us. We are very proud the way we have built up this supply chain. Everything is probably about 20 miles from the distillery. Grain comes from Shenandoah County itself, just a next town to us, which is only about 12, 13 miles from us. And then everything comes from that farm. So this is a blend of corn, 45 corn, 45 rye, and 10% malted barley. The reason why it is whiskey and not a bourbon, it's everybody knows what bourbon is. So bourbon is 51% of corn, aged in a new American oak, and made in America. But this one is not made in a used barrel. It's actually starts in a used barrel. So we do a combination of red and white as well as new and used oak. So it goes into 5 different barrels. So when I say 5 different barrels, it starts off with a new American oak, used American oak, a French oak, as well 2 French oak and 1 sherry oak. That's what makes this boondoggler a blend.
Yeah, I mean, I just took a sip of it. I think I can tell, like that you said the French oak and the sherry oak. I think I can definitely tell that has an impact on it. Now, do you guys do typically? I see that the ones I know I'm kind of foreshadowing a little bit. You guys do a lot of dual cask. Are those typically like wine casks, like sherry casks for those?
So when I was a wine buyer and a spirits buyer for the store, about 8 years ago when the bourbon industry, if you look at it, started evolving about a couple of years ago, or maybe 5-6 years ago. This new finishes started coming into existence. Before that, it was a very straight line: corn, rye, barley, mash bill, distill it, bottle it, and that's it. So there was not too much expression going on. So my whole idea over here was, I mean, bourbon has a great cherry character. It has a great vanilla. Because it picks up a vanilla caramelization from the char. But can we have a little bit of more tropical into the bourbon to have more pleasant, like a more pleasant on it? Great. Bourbons are absolutely great. Like we do single barrel, and it's the same thing as well. But I wanted to add that element, the hint of element of that malolactation, which you pick up from the barrels. So we used first round was Chardonnay barrels. So it was used French oak barrels from Remy, and that's why we used a French oak barrel to whatever the chard we pick up from this big American oak. 53. We use 53 gallons here, and just to bring up a little the hint of the tropical character, the toffee notes, we actually got from the French oak barrels.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I love seeing different, like, of course, I love just bourbon, just straight up out of the barrel, but I also love seeing what so many distilleries are doing. I love when they try things different than everyone else is doing. And I like seeing that, like, I mean, like you said, like 5 different casks. I don't think I know of any other distillery that's going through that many different barrels that they're doing for their finishing process. That's really exciting. So you said it's 5 barrels. So you said it's like a some of it was aged in. So was it a base bourbon, or was it also kind of like a light whiskey, like you said, that like the used barrels? Was that kind of the idea behind it as well, blending the bourbon and the light whiskey?
So the mash bill is 45 corn, 45 rye, and 10% malted barley. So the reason why it's a lighter whiskey, because we do not everything doesn't go in a straight new American oak. It goes into a used American oak.
Got it. Got it. Awesome. Yeah, I think. I mean, are you drinking along with me? I'm sorry I drank ahead of you. I kind of got excited. Oh yeah. What do you think makes this one unique? I mean, the rest are pretty like straightforward, but the fact that this one is kind of like you said, the boondoggler, like it's the experimental. Like what makes you excited about this whiskey?
What makes me excited about this whiskey is this is a very easy drinking. It's a very easy drinking, very softer style of a bourbon, because it has all the vanilla and caramel, but it also have a hint of that the sherry and the cherry notes and the French oak. So it combines up a great blending blend.
Hmm. Definitely. Did you mention anything about age? Do we know age statement on these, or just about what the age is?
This is a 3 and 4 years old blend.
Okay.
So this is a 3 and 4 years old blend. And the sherry sits in about close to about a year in a sherry oak before we transfer into it. So there's only 20% sherry oak in it.
And then proof on this one is 45% for those curious. So 90 proof. Yeah, that's a great place to start. I think, we're going to go up to some of these are even higher proof later on. The last one, the single estate, we're talking 110 proof. I like that we're working our way to that one. So I'm ready. If you're ready to move on, I'm ready to move on to the dual cask bourbon. So this one is dual cask is finished in French oak cask. So it's kind of part of what the boondoggler was, but it's just the French oak, correct?
So it starts up in an American oak. It stays in an American oak for about, again, 3 and 4 years old blend. We are gradually getting 4+, but now this one is about, I think the majority is about 4, but we also use a little bit of a 3 years old as well. And then we blend our bourbon together, and then we put it into a French oak barrel for about 60 days. We used to do very long. We used to go about 120, 200 days. But we cut down our aging time, because because as a distillery, we are learning. Every day is a learning curve for us, and we are not shy to say that our recipes are getting better, and we keep on changing our recipe as well, because till we try it, we do not know what is right and what is wrong. So there is always a new thing we are trying to do. So this dual cask, it's a 75 corn, 20 rye, and 10% malted barley. Goes into a 53 gallon number 3, and a combination of number 3 and number 4 chart barrels.
You can tell just on the nose that I'm getting this. It's so much more spicy, and I think that sometimes I've gotten that from French oaks before. I think it kind of gives it a nice like baking spice that kind of amps up what you already get on a good bourbon.
Oh yeah, that's so. What as long as
I can.
Oh, sorry, I was reading and.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, so Donnie's saying as long as the distillery is transparent about what they're doing, I support the experimentation. Yeah, absolutely. Agreed.
Yeah, and we are super transparent. Thanks for bringing out this the transparency. So we are super transparent, and in case if we are doing any, we do not source anything. But when we did, we were transparent in telling you that we sourced it. But now we have come to a point where we have enough of our own inventory. So we we're very proud to say that we do not source anything. Everything is our own juice, and it's 100% brick and mortar distillery. You are always welcome to come into our distilleries. We're open Thursday to Sunday, but we'll be opening Monday soon. So feel free to come and visit our plant and try the whiskeys. We have some great people over there. So that is good.
Yeah, and I gotta say, so I'll be honest. So when I first tried this, I thought I was like, this is too good for a craft distillery. I was like, why is this so good? So that's why I asked you. We had a phone call the other day, and I was like, so are you guys doing any sourcing? And you're like, no, we make it all ourselves. And I was blown away because this, even though like you said, it's like it's mostly 4-year-old. I mean, this drinks like an older Kentucky bourbon. I mean, you guys have done an excellent job of really just. I mean, I kind of teased folks on my Discord. I kind of told them like, hey, this might be one of my favorite craft distilleries I've tried all year. So I'm being honest with that. I'm very, very excited about this.
Thank you. So, the reason why, because we are basic to roots. So we do exactly how we can do it. So we do not try to take any shortcuts. That's the biggest factor. The second biggest factor is ingredients. We do not compromise on our ingredients, where it comes from. So in case if your ingredients are good and you are not trying to take any shortcuts, there is a very small chance that you can go wrong. Like we do not cheat on the aging statement. There are a million other factors over here that you can age this, that. No, we like to go old rick house style, and we do traditional style of fermentation. We use, because, to tell you a little story about it, our we didn't have too many consultants in this project. I think so. From start to finish, I might have about 20 hours of consultation.
Wow.
That's it. And am I an engineer? Absolutely no. Am I a chemist? Hell no. I couldn't go to school to get anything done. I am zero. Am I a distiller by profession? No. Do my family has a background? No. So, but what do I have? I have passion.
Mm.
And my passion was to make a bourbon which I can drink. So when we set it up, this distillery, I mean, there is a lot of credit which I have to give to one of my consultant, who was adamant to put an agitators on each of the fermenters. And so in terms of cost, it was 10, I think so, about $5,000 or $10,000 more than the regular fermenter. So like fermenter's job is to just ferment it, and it will do it. But his whole point was, you need to put in an agitation, so that so agitator is just, it's like a churner.
Mhm.
It agitates the whole mash together. So he was like, no, no, no. We had arguments. I think out of the 20 hours, 5 hour was an argument about this.
Wow.
um, and so the reason now, I think so, the reason why our bourbons are great, I do give him that component. So we have this column distillation and a pot, so everything goes through a double distillation. So this is a double distilled whiskey as well. So it happened condensation, vaporization, and then twice it happened condensation and vaporization. So that's what makes this bourbon great. In our rick house, um, our rick house is not a traditional climate rick house. So our is an 18 inches thick concrete building. It's like a bunker. Like
Oh, interesting.
it's like it used to be an old Bowman plant, like an apple. So it was an apple juice and apple jams they used to make in this plant before we bought this. So when we bought this, our it's almost like a Scotland style temperature. So when
Mm.
it's remain hot, it remains hot for the entire month. So like in case if there is any fluctuation in temperature, it will take about 20 days to make any change inside. So when it's hot, we remain hot for about a month, and if it's cold, we remain cold for a month, because it takes some time. Question for Sid: once we get to a QA, as someone who knows nothing about his brand, bring from Tennessee, what are... Sorry, can I read this?
No, yeah, you can. I put it on the screen if that makes it easier.
Yeah, sure. Can I? How do I reply it? So how can I reply to Joe Kelly?
I mean, you could. I mean, he's watching. I mean, you could say it, or you
Oh,
can.
sorry. I am so,
No,
I'm
you're
not.
fine.
So, absolutely. We'll come back on the tasting notes on it, and we can definitely do that. But great question. I think so. It's definitely a great question.
Yeah, for sure, Joe.
Um,
We'll come. We're gonna taste through all of these, and I'm gonna give tasting notes on each of them. So this, I'll say the one I just had, the dual cask bourbon. It to me, it has a lot of these like spiciness that I think I only get from French oak. So I've had a few other whiskeys that are finished with French oak, and it's I don't know how to describe it. I mean, some of you in the chat, I know you guys are fans of like some of the other major ones that are doing it. So if you guys can help out with like, what that flavor profile typically tastes like to you, I'd love to see you guys share it in the chat. I saw Brandon asked a question about when we were talking about the fermenters a minute ago. He said, "Do you guys use stainless steel fermenters?"
yes, we use stainless steel fermentation. Yes,
Gotcha.
there are people. I mean, you can use wood. You can also use plastic, but stainless steel is a very good source, and it is very climate friendly. I think so.
Hmm. And then people are interested in hearing about it because you talk about your rick house as being so unique. How do you think that? Because we always hear that like to make good. Well, Kentucky's excuse for making good whiskey is they're always like, oh, the fluctuation of the temperatures. Like the cold and the hot and the cold and the hot back and forth. But you say with yours it takes so much longer to shift from temperatures. How have you seen that affecting the bourbon? Even the fact that it's 4 years old, but is it coming across like sweeter? Like what's it doing to the whiskey being in that such a like slow process compared to like the fast temperature changes?
So basically, when you char your barrels, the reason why you char your barrels is you open the pores of the barrels. So it's expansion and contraction of the
Mhm.
barrels. So when it's hot, the barrel expands, and when barrel expands, so the reason why the barrel expands is that the liquid gets into the veins of the barrels. So if you ever go to any rick house, you see the water marks. So that is not a drawing. That is basically that whiskey or the liquid goes into the vein of that spirit. So what happens is when it's hot, the juice goes into the veins of those wood, and when it's cold, it comes out. So that's
Mhm.
expansion and contraction. So for us, once it goes into the veins, it stays in the vein for couple of days because it's not going to fluctuate the temperature overnight.
Mm.
So whereas in the regular distilleries, some of the regular distilleries will go on and they will have cooler mornings and then very hot afternoon. So
Mhm.
it's a fluctuation of a temperature, which is like in out in out. That is
Mhm.
good. I cannot comment on how will our bourbon taste in that temperature because we do not have the rick house yet.
Mm.
So once we are in an expansion mode and we are looking to break ground in next couple of months, if if our sales are exactly the same, and if people are supporting the way they are, I think so. We'll be ready to do that. So once we do that, we are going to have a distillery, and then we can do a comparison between that rick house and the way our rick house works. So um, I, to be honest, I cannot comment how will that taste because I do
Mhm.
not have, an experience of doing a side by side on that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, we already have people excited to get the whiskey. So Scott Moody's asking, can we get these shipped to all states outside DC? Selfishly asking, can we get them in Texas? So people want to get them.
I am working on to get into the Texas. Stay tuned, and and we will be there soon.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, well, where are you guys at currently? Like which markets?
Um, we are in 20 states now. So start out with East Coast. We are in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, obviously Virginia, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, DC, Delaware, Maryland. Then we go out um, all the way to Michigan, Minneapolis, Minneapolis. Then we go down towards Where else are we? Are am I missing anything? New York, New Jersey, North Carolina, Alabama, Tennessee, and Tennessee. Am I missing anything? I think so. Not.
That's a lot more. I didn't realize you guys were so far out. That's awesome. I know we have a lot of Tennessee folks here. We have some in the Carolinas, so that's really exciting.
Yeah, we're in North Carolina as well, and Atlanta, Georgia. I'm sorry.
Oh, Georgia, awesome.
Yeah,
Wow, that's. I mean, and you guys, when did the distillery start?
2013.
Okay, so you guys, okay. I was thinking it was more. I didn't realize it was since then. Okay, that makes a little more sense. I thought you guys just started. I'm like, how are you in so many places and you just started? That's awesome.
I mean, because um, we want to hustle. I mean, for
Right.
us, the only way we can survive is to sell.
Mhm.
As a smaller distillery, we are 100% family owned. Investors, we do not have any big bank supporting us. So for us, there is every day a grind and every day a hustle. So if I have to pay my distiller salaries, if I have to pay myself anything,
Mhm.
I have to go and hustle. I have to, and I have a great team. Like Mark reached out to you.
Mhm.
I am actually superly blessed to have such a great team. I have, if I have to name all my salespeople, I would love. So I have Mitch, who's out in Virginia. I have Jojo, who's out in DC, Maryland. I have my brothers who are with me as well. Shravan, who takes care of the sales, does a great job all over, and I have Bob out in Michigan, Minneapolis, and so that that's all the team I have. I have a great distiller out there who works his ass off.
Mhm.
So it's a great team.
Sounds like it, and I love that you can name them all by name. That's really cool, and I love seeing small teams like that. That's what I get passionate about with craft whiskey. I mean, you guys are like a family. That's just really cool to see. And a lot of times, some of the bigger distillers are like that, but also there's others that really it's so massive that they really can't be. So it's really cool to see that.
I mean, I think so. I do owe our success to all of these guys, and I hopefully, like we can build this team together, and we can just be a part of this a family. And this is all we have. So one of our employee Jojo, who works for us now. So he was my first sales call. To give you a little history, my first sales call when we started the distillery, I lifted my bag and I went out to see an account, and he was a beverage manager over there. So we started chatting, and it just worked out perfect. And he said, "Okay, we've been in touch since 10 years." My brother joined me, so my brother was also there. So my brother saw him, and he jokingly said that. If you want to get better, hire me. So my brother said, one day when we have money to do that. And so he was our first sales guy who we hired, and he built up this team. So, it's the same as Mark, who's been there. So I think so. It's a great team. It's a teamwork. My brother actually, he was in Connecticut this morning. Tomorrow he's going to be in Boston. So he hustles. I do my production. So he's like on the road 24/7. So I think so, which is very important for us, is because we know we need to pay the bills. So we need to hustle every day. We know what our bottom line is. So,
Mhm.
but I see somebody like our Bone Dogler and our single estate. Thank you very much, sir. Keep supporting, and we will keep up this good work.
Absolutely. So, are you ready to move on to the rye? I'm excited for this. So, have you guys always been doing rye, or is that relatively more recent than the bourbons?
No, it was our dual cast bourbon and dual cast rye was our flagship and our first product.
Okay.
So a rye is, to give you a little background on our rye. So we always done rye, but does medals, accolades matter to me? No, but I think so. They are a great tool to sell.
Mhm.
So we've been doing rye since the reception. So we have always got great reviews on our bourbon. Like it's a great bourbon. We got some 92 points. We got a double gold medal from a San Francisco. But our rye was good, but never got anything. So it was always like how can we get better? So our experience is that when we send it to a panel of judges, our idea is like, how can we get better? I mean, if we are not getting a double gold medal, there is definitely something not right. So we have to work some harder to get that. So our rye, we used to age it for about 120 days into a French oak barrel. So we cut that to about close to 30 days. So then we got a double gold medal at San Francisco. So he said, alrighty, like maybe a rye was great, but the spice was not there, because as a rye drinker, you want that rye to be a little pungent, like it should
Mhm.
have the thing. So our rye was very softer rye, which I really liked it. But I think so, as I said, that we always like to work, always are working towards getting better. So that's why the rye which you are drinking now, it's a 90 rye, 5 and 5 corn and 5 barley.
Okay.
Sorry, this is a no, yeah, this is a 3 grain rye. So we also have a 4 grain rye, which we only did a couple of single barrels because we didn't have enough of inventory. So we're not doing our 4 grain rye anymore. But our dual cask rye, it's a 95 and 5.
What was the decision to do that? Because I think most, I mean, the most common rye we see out here is the 95.5 rye. What helped you make the decision to include the 5% of corn? Like what did it add anything specifically to it that you guys really enjoyed?
We the reason why we did that was 95 and 5 was the corn really brings up this unique character. So we start out with, because we started out with the rye as we when we start mashing up, we start with rye and then add corn. So corn just gels up a little bit better on it. So it just brings up more maltiness to it. So that's why we did with this, and then the barley comes at the end for us.
Gotcha. Yeah, this I just had a sip of it. It's definitely a rye lover's rye. I mean, it's got all that like spearmint that I really like on a rye. It's spicy, but like you said, like a rye. So the spice that I was associating earlier with like the French oak, I'm not getting that as much on this one, but you did say it's only like 30 days to finish in that. What would you say that the French oak brings to this that it wouldn't have had without that?
So the French oak brings that softness on the palate. So when you drink it, the spice doesn't kick you right away. It just holds up, and then it bites you, that spice.
Mm.
So it starts off a little pleasant, a little rounded,
Mhm.
and then as you have as you have it in your mouth, it just seems like, what's going on, and then it really kicks up. That
It
takes you a
does. It
little
really does.
to the rye to make rye will say, oh, you missed a rye, you missed the spice, I need to come back. So here the rye comes in. So that's why it just brings up a coating. The French oak brings up a little coating on top of
Mm.
this. So I think so that's why the French oak brings up this beautiful character.
Yeah, I mean, now that you mention it, I think on the nose, I could tell that it was a rye, but on first sip, when it first hits your tongue, like to me, it definitely, like you said, it's softer. You wouldn't think it's a rye, but then, like you said, it builds and builds, and then bam, you're like, oh yeah, definitely a rye.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I don't think usually you usually hit up front, so it's really cool to see the way that this one progresses. And it's kind of like a bit of a journey. You start sweet and soft, and then you get big and bold like a rye. That's really
Yeah.
interesting.
So the reason why I am not giving you, a lot of people are asking about the giving a tasting notes, because I want you to taste your notes and bring it up. But if I tell you this has a dill and pickle, so everybody start going to have that dill and pickle in their
Mhm.
mouth. Oh yeah, it tastes like that. So sometimes I like, this is an open world. You pick up, you tell what you're getting. Maybe somebody might, because it's your taste buds, you will get a mint and pickle, and maybe I'll get a chocolate on it, or maybe I'll get
Mhm.
truffle to it.
Yeah, for sure. And I know these guys have asked me because like I know some of them like rely on my notes. Like if I say a certain note, they're either really excited, they're like, I'll pass on that one. So I try my best to try to explain my experience with it because I think that's the beauty of all these channels out here on YouTube that are reviewing whiskey because everyone has a different palate. So you find the person that you feel like your palate aligns with and you like trust their judgment. And those of you that align with my palate, I mean, I'm really enjoying these so far. So but I think we're about to move on to my favorite one of the night. So this next one is the single estate. Can you tell us about this last one?
So single estate, if you flip, Clifton, if you can flip the bottle and show it to your viewers.
So
Everybody's been talking about the transparency.
Yeah, let me turn this so it's gonna get really bright for a second, but hopefully this will help you guys see it. I'm gonna
All right.
hold on. I can figure this out. I can make it bigger. Hold on. Let's see. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. I know there's. Oh, wait, okay, this might be better. How about this? All right. Can you guys see that?
So if you can all see this, so like starts from the top, water source. So it says Virginia limestone. Age is 4 years, 2 months. This is a wheated bourbon. So ingredients is corn, dry, barley, and wheat. Fermentation is 72 hours. The source is Shenandoah HWK Farms. That's the farmer who we get our grain from. Barreled at 120 proof. I'll come back to you on why we do 120 and not 125 and not 110. Barrel number is there. Yeah, I barrel everything at the distillery. Not that the reason I'll come back on that as well. We'll touch base on that. And the barrel type is 18 months air dried barrels. So this is whoever was asking that. I'm not sure exactly the name, but asking about the transparency. So this is about as transparent as we can get. We even tell you the grain source where we bear it. So I'll start out with why we use 120 and not anything else.
Johnny said lots of great info there. Yeah, he appreciated all the transparency in the back.
All right. Thank you very much. So the reason why we do barrel at 120 is we used to do at 125. That was what we used to do it. And we tried our bourbon after about a year. It came out to be very hot. So we thought we need to add a little bit of more water to do it. And then we did an experiment with 110. So did 125 and 110. It came out that 110 was the best, and 125 was good, but like as we said, that everything needs to get better. So then we did an experiment with 120 because, as you can know, that barrel is a very expensive real estate. Right. So as you can put as much back up as much as you can, that's what you needed. Otherwise, but 110 was very good. But it just came out that as a whole team, we decided that let's do a middle part where we are getting something and we're losing something as well. So that we do not lose a big on a real estate, but we also have a great character. So that's why we did 120 on that. And secondly, barreled by Sid. So the reason why it's barreled by me is we do an entire batch. And when we do the entire batch, we try at that time as a whole batch that which goes into 18 months air dried barrels, which goes in a regular barrel, and which goes where. Sometimes we are completely off. Sometimes once we try and put that into an 18 months air dried barrels, after 2 years, it's only there to do about 45% of the job. Another 50% or 60% of the job is done in the barrel. It is what the nature of the business is. Sometimes you depend on the mother nature, you depend on the wood, and you can't really know what that wood is on day one. If I would, I mean, I'm sure there are some industry experts, they can exactly smell and tell you what the wood is, but I am not, and nobody in our team is that. So So we just try our mash bills at that time, that which we think is the best. We try to put into a single estate. And I'll tell you a little story as well. So there was a barrel which we used. We tried it for a single estate, for a single barrel, and that was dead. Like it seems like there was no character. It was like flat. So we took it off and kept it on the side, that it doesn't fit to be go into the single barrel. And while we were doing our bottle in bond, 5 years old, we tried that barrel, and that barrel came out as a bomb. Like there was beautiful spice to it. It had an elegance of it. It was rounded. It was 118 proof, but drink like that, you could just like gulp it. It was so smooth. So I do not know what magic happened after a year, in a year, and it completely changed the barrel, the whiskey in that. So sometimes we think, as much as we are experts, this wood always excites us
Oh
and
yeah,
surprises us as well.
that's a great way to put it. So for this bottle that I have, this one comes in at 111.10 proof. So that's the bottling proof. He said it was put into the barrel at 120. So are these all at 111.10, or is that depending on
No, the one
barrel?
I'm drinking is 115 proof.
Okay, gotcha.
So where is my camera? So you all can see.
If I can hold on. Wait, how do I swap? Oh, wait, there we go.
So one I'm drinking is 115. So
Can you show us does the back of that have different info than the one I had?
Yep.
Just in case.
Original
Same water
limestone.
source. So yours isn't. So mine was the 4-grain one. Yours is the corn, rye, and barley.
Yeah, mine is the rye, and your is the wheated. So like if you look at in the front of the bottle, there is this, either it will say exclusive bottling, or it will say wheated.
Oh, it does say wheat. I never noticed that. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah. So this is a single barrel for Donaldson Pike Liquors out in Tennessee.
Gotcha. So there's a question coming in from Brandon. Now this is like I told you, these guys are nerds. So Brandon wants to know: do you know the proof that the whiskey is coming off the still? Because he loves craft distillery, so that's why he's
130. So 130 is when it comes out, about between 125 to 130 from the doubler. It starts off from a stripping column about 120 plus, and then when it goes into a doubler, it bumps up another 8 to 10 proofs, about between 130, between 125 and 130 proof, 35.
Got it.
Yeah, we do not overburn our whiskey. We do not like to bring it at 145 or 50 or 130, whatever. So this is the maximum we like to bring it about between 125 to 130.
So this is the one I was actually teasing to my viewers on Discord. This one, I don't know if it's the mash bill. I don't know if it's the air dried barrel, but something about this, again, one of my favorite craft whiskeys I've ever tried. And I'm being 100% honest. They know I don't say that often. Something about this bottle right here is really, really special. I don't know what it is. It's everything I want. It's got the toastiness that I think is coming from like the barrel. It has a bit more of like the toasted vanilla, like the marshmallow kind of note. It still has some of the spiciness on there as well. I believe it because it's a wheated mash bill, but it does say rye on it. Does it also have rye in it as well?
Yeah, it has on the rye as well.
Gotcha. So it's like a 4-grain, but I don't know.
25 and 5.
Oh, what was the mash bill?
70, 25, and 5.
70, 25, and 20 is the wheat.
Rye.
Oh, the rye. Okay, gotcha. Wow.
70 corn, 20 rye, 5 wheat, 5 barley.
I don't know if this was the magic number or what, but I mean, and this is not my first time trying it. I had this a few days ago, and I was like, this is the whiskey that made me question. Like, there's no way they're making this, but you guys are. Like that. This one, I mean, the single estates at that higher proof, to me, I love high proof whiskey. So that's just kind of where I prefer my whiskey. So man, I'm telling you guys, those of you people were asking early on, like, well, which one's your favorite? Which one's your favorite? Hands down, that's my favorite. It's just a great expression of what I would want, everything I would want a craft bourbon to be. It is. So I guess I don't want to say congratulations, but like, well done. That's the better word. Well done.
Thank you.
And so we didn't. One thing we didn't talk about, people that were curious about getting them. Do we, like, pricing wise? Like, can we go through each of them and, like, just I know that it's different depending on the region. We all know that, but just like on average,
Yeah.
like an estimate for what each of these may be.
Actually, can we ask the viewers? Can they guess how much is the Boondoggle bourbon and the
Oh, you
single
want them to
estate?
guess? Okay, they can guess. All right. So how much is the Boondoggle? How much let's just ask those two. How much do you guys think the Boondoggle is, which is the aged in 5 different barrels, or how much do you think the single estate is? Let's find out what you guys think, and then let's see how close we
Okay.
are.
The closest one will send a free swag to them.
Oh, okay. No, you got them excited. They're gonna hold you to it.
No, I mean, we are recording this, so you
Yeah,
you.
that's true. That's true.
Alrighty,
So you guys,
did you get any answers yet?
no, there's a little bit of a delay, so it'll take them a few seconds to get in. Okay, here they come. Here goes. Okay, so Embellished Podcast is saying Boondoggle 55. Brandon is saying Boondoggle 60, and then the single cask 80.
80. So.
And then Don Nishida, all the way from Hawaii, he's saying $75 for the Boondoggle and $125 for the single estate. We're getting closer, warmer, colder.
Now they're way off.
Oh, way off. Oh, okay. Embellished Podcast single cast 75. I don't know. You guys are way off apparently. Okay, Donnie says Boondoggle 27. Oh, he's going with the 27. He's flipping it around.
Guys, no cheating. No Google.
Is he cheating? Is he? Are y'all cheating? I know everyone's like, they're taking their time there. And then our friend Patrick says $1, Bob. We're not going the lowest.
We're talking about Boondoggle, not the water. So Boondoggle is between anywhere between $25 to $30.
I don't know if Donnie cheated or not, but he's right in the middle right there.
Yeah,
so
we'll send a swag. Just send me his information. I don't know. Just text me if you could.
Yeah, we'll do. And he actually was the one that said earlier that he'd actually seen it in the store earlier. So I think that's probably why he knows, because he literally went, because he saw that the stream was coming up, and I mean, I'm just guessing, Donnie, that you saw the stream was coming up, and you're like, oh, how much is that?
Yeah.
So,
Donnie, if you could just text me your information, or you can text it to Clinton, and
yeah, I have his info, so I'll get it over to you after the stream. But yeah, congratulations, Donnie. Yeah. That's awesome. Yes, wow, $27 for the Boondoggle.
Yeah. The reason why it is 27 is because of, as I said, bourbon has expensive real estate. So what we do is we will take the entire bourbon cost into our barrels. So when we put into this barrel, when we take out the bourbon, we think this barrel is free. We've already done all the costing into our new barrel. So now we only take as a juice cost, and we do not take as our old barrel we take it as a free. So that's why it's cheaper. Not cheaper, I mean price friendly. So we wanted to have a craft whiskey at a decent price. I mean, everybody can make a craft whiskey at $200 or $100. So
right.
We want to make a craft whiskey easy, approachable to everybody who doesn't have to break the bank. The rye is about 35.
Where he's at in Tennessee.
Yeah. I mean 35. I think so. It's lower. It's between $40. I would say between 39 and 40. Single estate about 46. That's exactly right.
Wow, 46. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I'm so used to seeing, if I ever see a craft distillery pricing that low, we're dealing with 6 month juice. Whereas this one, we're talking, 3, 4, getting up there at 4-year age. I mean, that's really incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's just because we want to have an approachable product. The way our distillery is set up, it's a very cost effective. We have a very leaner. So there is a business sense behind this as well. So we don't want to overcharge and just be proud of that. Oh, our bourbon sells at $100. No, we are proud because our bourbon sells at $46, and it's a great product, and it can give competition to anybody, any bourbon around us. So
Yeah, Donnie says he thinks the price are very reasonable. I agree. I actually would have not guessed. I would have guessed higher. Like that's really exciting for people that want to get, because a lot of people do write off craft whiskey because they're the price barrier, because a lot of times there's so much startup costs with craft distilleries. So a lot of times that's baked into the price of the whiskey. So for it to be an approachable craft whiskey, I think if you're curious about exploring and you want to expand, it's a great one to start with for those prices. I mean, absolutely. And then Donnie re-mentioned. So we had the question from Joe earlier. So I think this question is for you, Sid. So Joe is asking, as someone who knows nothing about the brand, meaning Joe, he says, being from Tennessee, what are the most prevalent tasting notes on your whiskeys, and what one bottle would you recommend? If someone was going to buy just one bottle, what would you recommend?
Depend on their palate. First of all, it just depends on what their palate is. And I am when I'm a bourbon drinker, and I always like a high proof. But if you are not a high proof fan and you want a lighter style, not a lighter style, just a little bit more rounded, because I like a little rock in my bourbon. So if you are starting off, I would go with the dual cask bourbon, because it's a very softer style of a bourbon. And if somebody likes to mix, I would go Boondogler. But somebody who is very on the higher proof, because that's the single estate brings up. So it's a different category. I wish I would have a one answer that this just suits the entire
Right.
palette. Tony, it doesn't work like that. So I think so. It just depends on what you like. You have to, like for example, initially I was a 90 proof guy, and then my palate completely changes, and I just couldn't enjoy that 90 proof anymore, and I started bumping up my proof. So now, I mean, I like just like straight from the still 130, 135.
That's my dream. I would start a distillery just to try it straight. Yeah, straight off.
Yeah. So are we trying a bottle and bond as well?
So actually, I didn't have the bottle and bond. I was actually going to ask you. You mentioned that one earlier. Can you tell us about that one? I don't have that one in front of me.
Is our special release. So this year we did two special release. One was a bottle and bond, which, because our distillery was when I migrated into the country, was 4th of June. So every 4th of June we are going to be releasing a bottle and bond.
Awesome.
So so it was it was bottled on June. So that is 4th of June. And the bottle and bond, this is 5 years old. At this point of time, we have an older mash bill, which is a 70 corn, 20 rye, 10% malted barley. This is not wheated. So this is our bottle and bond. I think so. It's a greatly well balanced, and it just brings out this beautiful character. Cheers.
Cheers. You said this one was 5 years old?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. And that's like a limited release. Is it more available, or is it kind of like a distillery only? What's the story with that one?
It's distillery only, and we made very sure that we are going to have for the entire year. All our markets were shipped few cases, so that we can say this is our way of saying thank you to somebody who has supported us all around the year. So every market, all the markets which I mentioned have this product available. What stores, I do not know, but majority of our places would have it.
That's really awesome. I'm going to keep an eye out. I mean, I know it's not in California yet, but maybe soon. Well, I know we're coming close on time, but I wanted to ask, do you guys have anything exciting coming up? Maybe people that are closer that can get excited about, maybe they want to come to the distillery. If you guys have any special releases coming up.
We have a triple cask release as well. So we have so this is our triple cask. So as people said that we like to be transparent. So this is a blend of an MGP 6 years old and filibuster 5 years old. So the reason why we used MGP was not because we are a sweet mash. So our bourbons are sweet mash, and while we were using muscatel barrels, so we have a 7 expressions. The seven expressions we have is sherry, port, muscatel, um, Ardbeg barrel, Scotch Ardbeg barrel. So some of you, if you are in Tennessee, couple of retailers have bought some these Ardbeg barrels out there. So if you look out for the triple cask, it's deliciously out in Tennessee. And some of you who are in Virginia, we're releasing 7 barrels with Virginia ABC on November, I think so. Just before Thanksgiving, it will be released. The 7 single barrels of filibuster triple cask, and they're all 7 different finishes. So this will be a very different and exciting for everybody who wants to really try it.
Well, that's exciting. You guys got to collect them all like Pokemon. Well, you guys can follow Filibuster there on Instagram. They're on Facebook and Twitter. I've already followed them everywhere. Just search Filibuster Distillery. Sid, I want to say thank you so much again for coming on the channel. This has been an absolute pleasure. These are some really fantastic whiskeys, and I am just blown away by the price you guys have on them. So I'm telling you guys that watching this live or you're watching the replay, I know a lot of you guys tune in tomorrow or later in the weekend. Seek this out, especially if you're in the northeast part of the country. It's really great stuff, and I can't wait to see what's next. I mean, you're welcome back on the show if you guys have any new releases. Welcome to come back on and tell us about them.
Sure, absolutely, and it's definitely an honor to be here. Really loved it, and thank you so much for supporting us, for drinking with me.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys all for watching. For those on Patreon, I'll see you over on the after party. But until next time, cheers, and I will see you next Thursday night. Have a good one. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. And if you ever have any question, you can email me directly. And Clifton, please do not forget to send me the information for Donnie. And I think so somebody else got it right. Donnie and
I think it was Donnie both times. I think because he was the one that went to the store. So, but okay, yeah, I'll get that over. I'll send that over to you. If I don't get to you tonight, I'll get to you in the morning. How about that?
That's perfect. If not, I'll remind you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Awesome. Cheers, y'all. I'll see y'all next week. And thank you, Sid.
Thank you again. Bye.
Quite a bit richer than the nose let on. I'm still in the pie territory. To me, this one is like a thicker, I mean, this honestly reminds me of like a pecan pie. I say pecan pie, I'm from South Carolina, I'm sorry. It has that heftiness, like when you're eating that, like just the way the sugar presents itself in that combined with the pecans. Everyone, and welcome to Bourbon 80. After a some of week, or never had. So this past year, or this year, kind of about experience, some of the classes I took, some of the great pours I had, some of the amazing food that New Orleans had to offer, and just kind of talk about some new releases that have kind of came in over the past few weeks that I haven't had a chance to talk about. So good to see so many of you here today. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late, those of you watching live. So I set 4 glasses in front of me, right? And I sit down like 6:55. I'm like, I'm about to go live. I'm all set. I'm ready to go. I'm like, wait, I only have 3 bottles of whiskey in front of me. I'm like, what was the other one I was going to review? And I grabbed a backup bottle because I was like, well, if I don't think of anything else, I'll just do this one. But then like literally 6:59, I'm like, oh my God, how can I talk about New Orleans without making a Sazerac cocktail? So I ran in the kitchen. I know normally you don't always have it over ice. Actually, I prefer mine with an ice cube in it. Ran into the kitchen, grabbed my Sazerac rye, my Herb Saint liqueur, and my Peychaud's bitters. I should know how to say that because I toured the Sazerac house as part of my trip. But yeah, it made me a Sazerac. Of course, with simple syrup as well. Yeah, it's a really quickly made cocktail. One of my favorite cocktails. Normally, I'm a little more precise with my measurements, but I didn't want to keep you guys longer. So maybe it's Peychaud's, probably. Um, who murdered the resolution? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that's my signal. My internet's been acting up. Hold on. Let me see if I can swap it without ending the stream. Oh no, did it go bad for everyone else? Bad video. Okay. This is what happens when I don't go live for so long. Let me try one little swap. And see if this fixes it. If not, I have a couple of options. To make it work. Let's see. See if this. Hold on. Okay. I'm working on it. I have a couple ways to fix this. It's like I said, it's been a while since I've done this. So, all right, let me try something real quick. Let me try this. Stick around. If it completely goes, I'm right back. Okay. Let's see if that improves things. I just changed a setting. Let me know if things get a little bit better. If not, I have a few other options. But I appreciate everyone being quick to tell me there's some audio issues or some video issues. Yeah, that's just my computer. Basically, short story. My computer has two network adapters, and sometimes it defaults to the wrong one. So I just turned the other one on. So we'll see if that fixes things. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. Quick little Sazerac. One of my favorite cocktails. So let me know if we get better from here. I'm gonna feel better from here after drinking this. Want to say hello to some folks while people are gathering here. Like I said, if it notifications, I'll go back live solves in place to fix these issues because I've had them before. I want to say hello to a few folks. James Taylor in the chat. Tony Bag of Donuts here. Taste and Sensibility. Doug, so great seeing you over the weekend. So much fun. I know you recorded a lot of stuff. Hopefully we'll see it on your channel soon. But yeah, so good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Donnie is here as well. Sugar Kitty, good to see you actually awake tonight. Appreciate you stopping in. Yeah, that's me being late. Fred is here as well. I know you guys have been super active on Discord. I'm sorry I was kind of absent for a while, but I'm glad to be back. This is Over said he survived his trip. Welcome back. Well, thank you so much, Zofra. Hope you were doing well, my friend. Yep, Swan is here as well. Good to see you, Swan. And Gary Franchi. Oh my gosh, such a great crowd. Adam Free is here as well. If you click it like this, no, that. Oh, okay, that's Celine Dion. I'm like, I was starting to sing like the metro station. If you love me like this, you can love me right back. That's what I was seeing that as. But I got you. I'm not gonna try to attempt to be Celine Dion right now. The video quality dropped. Okay. Let me try one thing. Hopefully this is in the stream. If it does, I promise I'll be right back on. Let me try something real quick. All right, let me try this. All right, check. I'm still good. You guys still see me, hear me? All good still? Let me know. Let's see if that fixed it. I just turned off one of the adapters. Let's see. Sometimes it's been my VPN, but I actually turned my VPN off. So, oh my god, you know what? My VPN. What it is? Hold on. Here, I'm still here. Are we still live? Are we good? Can you still give me a thumbs up if you can still see and hear me? My VPN reconnected, and I thought I turned it off, so I apologize. I think it's off now. So let's proceed. I think we may have solved it. It was the VPN. Gosh, that one's so annoying. All right, we're good? All right, awesome. I think we fixed it. Y'all. Yeah. When I turned on that adapter thing, it turned on my VPN, which didn't help things at all. So I think we're good. Thank y'all. By the way, 17 in the chat. Hello. hopefully some new faces here. I've been on a couple of other streams, so good to see some new folks. If you're new, hey, feel free to subscribe. I promise I don't always have internet issues. But so great to see so many faces. Say hello in the chat if you're new. We'd love to get to know you. But yeah, start off with a Sazerac. Good thing we haven't moved into new reviews yet. But what is your favorite whiskey cocktail? There's so many whiskey cocktails, but like for your traditional favorite whiskey cocktail, what is your go-to? Oh no. Okay. Let me know if the quality got bad. If it got bad, I'll try one last thing that I think might maybe do something. But if the audio is fine, we might can just keep rolling and just I'm not in a rush to get things done today. Stuttering video is back. Okay. Let's see if it just does it once. Because again, I just did a bunch of changes. Let's see if it just does it that once. If it does, and then it's back, we're good. But I'll have to turn off the VPN again. But anyways, I'm just sitting here talking about this drink. I haven't drank it. My favorite is, like I said, a Sazerac. I love an old fashioned. I love a Manhattan. It depends on my mood, right? If I want to take my time with a cocktail, usually a Manhattan. If I just want something simple, either a Sazerac or a old fashioned. So follow-up question to that: do you typically use rye or bourbon in your whiskey cocktails? I guess I'm a bit. I don't want to say a traditionalist, but I will say usually with an old fashioned I'll use bourbon. With the Manhattan I'll use rye. With the Sazerac I'll use rye. So that's kind of like what I do, but I know people do it. They're all different ways. So curious to hear what you guys do. Tony, what's up? Good to see you in the chat. Thanks for stopping in on your other account. Yeah, sorry about the internet issues, guys. I've just been out of the flow, I guess, of doing it. So, but we got some good whiskey to review tonight, so I want to make sure we're all fixed before we get into the reviews. So appreciate everyone's patience. Hey, hit the thumbs up if you are looking forward to some reviews of some new whiskeys from me, including some exclusives from the New Orleans Bourbon Festival. Of course, if you saw the title of the video, I'm reviewing the brand new. Well, it was brand new. It took me a while to get it. Old Forester 1924. A bit controversial. So I don't know if you can see that depending on video quality, but yeah, I picked this up at Bevmo. It was like it was back that day that I was I think I told you all the story already. I was looking for basic Eagle Rare when I was doing that stream a couple weeks ago where I was comparing Eagle Rare store picks to standard Eagle Rare. So yeah, if you missed that stream, it was a fun one, but couldn't find regular Eagle Rare, so I had to be that guy that went up to the counter and was like, "You guys got any?" They said, no, the only allocated stuff we've gotten in lately is this. And I'm like, oh, okay, I've been wanting to try that. So I picked up a bottle and some standard Buffalo trays. I felt full Tanner mode, but yeah, have not opened this. As you can tell, it's still sealed. So we're going to do a fresh crack review of that here shortly. But I want to make sure we're good with it. It hasn't dropped in a minute. So we might be back good with internet. Let me know how it's looking and sounding on your end, whether you're watching on your TV, phone, tablet, PlayStation, Nintendo 64. I don't know. I don't know if people like hack things these days. I don't know. I saw someone like watching like or trying to pull up Google on like an old I think it wasn't a Nintendo 64. It was like one of the first, maybe it was a Wii or something like one of the ones that had a web browser built in. It looks so bad. But yeah, I don't know if they can play videos, but they can definitely pull up Google search. Donnie said he was at a bar recently where a guy was drinking old fashions with tequila. Interesting. I know I've kind of done the opposite. I've done a bourbon Rita, which was a margarita made with bourbon, which is kind of like a whiskey sour, but it had the lime. I think it was Seattle, maybe Seattle or San Francisco. One of those fancy cocktail bars. Really cool to try, but yeah, old fashioned with tequila. Now that you mentioned that, I've had a mezcal old fashioned, which kind of makes more sense because it's a little. But yeah, a mezcal old fashioned was really good. I mean, to be fair, what is an old fashioned? Simple syrup, Angostura bitters, maybe an orange twist or expressed orange peel, spirit. So a lot of spirits can work with that. I could see that being a universal. I don't know about like gin, maybe or vodka. Maybe not clear spirits, but with aged spirits, I think it can work really well. Baker Drinks in the chat. By the way, I mentioned I was on a few streams lately. If y'all missed it, I was over on their channel. Thank you guys so much again for having me. Amazing Whiskey Tube channel. Whole different community. So it surprised me being a guest there. There's a whole world of whiskey tube that we don't see as our normal group. So go check that out. Maybe you'll find a new favorite whiskey tuber, and I won't see you guys ever again. Goodbye. Goodbye. No, stick around because it's fun. Um, that's my tagline. Stick around because it's fun. No, but it is. We just did our monthly movie night for Patreon, where we watch a retro movie together on Discord in a watch party. That's for everyone $5 and up on Patreon, which is like a $5 movie ticket. Like you would pay $5 a month to go, see a vintage movie with your friends. That's how I think of it. So if you guys are curious about that, check out patreon.com/Bourbon Bytes. I'm sure one of the mods will drop a link here in the chat soon. Put it down there. There is a 30-day free trial to our $10 tier, which comes with a few extra things like our after party hangout. It takes place right after this live stream every Thursday night. So if you guys want to try it out for 30 days, see if it's for you. If it's not, money, not money back. It's a free trial. So just make sure to cancel before it renews. But hopefully you'll have fun, and hopefully you'll join us at tonight's after party or this upcoming movie night here soon. So now there are several other tiers above and below that. Your support matters, whatever level you feel comfortable doing. But I try to make it worth your while. So speaking of which, one of my top tier patron actually festival. We hung out quite a lot. So if you want to be, there's a tier above him. I have my Bourbon Daddy tier that has only been achieved once. I had a Bourbon Daddy once. So if you want to be my top tier patron, well, that's available for you if you're interested. All details on patreon.com. So thank you, Donnie, for dropping that info. Live from the patio. Hello, welcome. I think might be the first time seeing you here in the chat today. Thank you, Donnie, of course, for the like, subscribe, and hit that bell button to be notified every time I go live. So seems like we are all good to go with the reviews. Sounds like video issues have corrected themselves, seemingly. So I'm going to have another sip of this, and then we're going to get into our reviews. I'm very excited for all of these. Two of them are first impressions. One I've had before because I'm impatient, and when I get a bottle delivered to me, I'm going to open it and try it. Let's see, proof-wise, where are we going? All right. Well, okay. So while I talk about these, I'm also going to be, Donnie says I'm tolerable. Okay, well, tolerable. Donnie, maybe refresh just to see if it fixes it. Before I was seeing a little notification that my signal is bad. It's not showing up for a while, so let me know. But so as I go through the tastings, I'm going to talk about my experience at the 2024 New Orleans Bourbon Festival. If you missed it at the beginning, my first time going, I've never gone to a bourbon festival like this that lasts many days. So talk a little bit about the things I love, the things I didn't quite love as much, and just talk about some of the things I learned throughout the experience. But first, I want to pour my first whiskey that I'm reviewing tonight. This brand was not there, actually. I did not see any. Okay, let me take a step back. Well, no. This, I'm talking about, of course, Old Forester. I say that because Woodford was there and Jack Daniels, but yeah, so Old Forester was not there as far as I'm aware. If they were, sorry, I missed it. But this is a new 10-year expression, 100 proof, 1924. So it's a dedication to, in 1924, Owsley Brown took barrels of whiskey with different in Louisville, Kentucky, and bottled them as Old Forester. This 10-year-old expression honors the 100th anniversary of this occasion. Now, I've heard some controversy. People say this isn't worth the price. If you know me, I'm not the hugest Old Forester fan. Some of their products I do like. Most of them don't quite fit my flavor profile that I'm looking for usually. But I've been curious about this. I paid like probably $120 to $130. Again, it was at Bevmo, so it was a retail price. I don't have my receipt for it, but I paid a fair price for it. So let's go ahead and pop the cork for a first Old Forester 1924. Wow, that was really loud. I don't know if you guys heard that. All right, so I like the tack strip look they got going on. It's just kind of getting in the way, and I don't care how pretty it looks. Tear a little bit. Someone's probably crying that hasn't. Oh, I see my signal's kind of crapping out again. But let me know if it's tolerable, as Donnie said. If not, I apologize. All right, let's pour a little bit of this. Oh, Donnie likes the 1924 Best of the Whiskey Row series. Oh, that's nice to hear. Like I said, They're hit or miss with me. I think I like 1910 before, like, that was my favorite before. 1920 to me just I love high proof, but for me, that one didn't quite fully do it for me. But yeah, I'm excited to give this one a try. Is there anything else that I'm missing about this one? I know I said it was like a tribute to the first release as a 10-year age statement. It's the same. It's rather than the traditional. Oh, maybe this is it. It's a new mash bill. Something new about it. It's a mash bill of 79% corn, 11% rye, and 10% malted barley. So a lot more rye, or a lot less rye actually. This is a high corn mash bill. Very interesting. Okay, maybe I'll like it a little bit better. Really curious to give it a try. Whoa, did my lighting? Oh, that was weird. I like leaned over here. Oh, my light. As you can tell, I'm still experimenting with my lights. I tried to make it New Orleans themed, but you can't really see the yellow. But it's all good. I'm just here for a good time. But all right, so that's been poured. But let's talk a little about the New Orleans Bourbon Festival. I'm gonna share my photos from the event. Um, Talking through my weekend, I went down on Wednesday, last Wednesday. Never been to New Orleans, very very first time, but I've been looking forward to the food, the culture, everything for so long. So I knew I had to make it down there. So let me see where to start. I mean, honestly, the first thing that we checked into our hotel, and then of course wanted to meet up with, like I said, one of my top tier patron, Todd Cooper. You guys, some of you know him. Really great guy. He actually went to this. He's been to this event before, back in 2022, I think. So he was back again this year. So we met up at a bar called Snug something. Gosh, now I don't remember the name. I just have photos. So let me just do a little slideshow. Let's see if this will work. All right. Let's see. I want to make sure I'm still on the screen. Okay, I'm still there. Okay. Can I change this? Oop, 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 oop. Come on. Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. All right. So yeah, this is us. We are meeting up at the Snug something in New Orleans. It was a jazz bar. So great to see him. I hadn't seen him since back in 2018. We met at Chad and Sarah's from It's Bourbon Night. They had a meetup in 2018. I didn't know him. He didn't know me, but now we're so great friends. So I actually met Don Nishida, fun fact, at that same meetup. But yeah, so this is us hanging out, having a drink. Let's see. Hopefully, there's no embarrassing photos that pop up here of me. Then that was Wednesday. Like I said, we walked around Bourbon Street, just kind of hung out for a bit. Didn't really do too much, really. I mean, it was a pretty chill day, just a travel day. And then on Thursday, our friends Chad and Sarah, Snug Harbor. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Doug. Snug is, yeah. So Snug Harbor, that's correct. Yeah. So there was a jazz show there. We didn't quite make it to the show, but it was still a really good time. So we went there. That was Wednesday night, but then Thursday, Chad and Sarah from It's Bourbon Night had their meetup at Barrel Proof, which was that next. This is us just hanging out at the bar and his friends, listening to some jazz on the street. I hear that. But always good New Orleans vibes. And then yeah, had dinner with them. This Jucifer beer it's a local hazy IPA. I'd never had it before. I like it a lot. They're actually this same company does a double IPA that I actually like a bit better. I forget the name of it, but yeah, had a great time. Had a delicious fish. The theme of the food here was seafood, so yeah, did a little bit of sightseeing a bit that day, and then of course there's a Caesars casino there, or it used to be Harrah's, but they're calling it Caesars now. Did a bit of gambling, had some gumbo, had some fried oysters, had a barbecue shrimp from a place called Mr. B's, which is incredible. One of the highest recommended places that I can recommend to you from there. Delicious, great service. Some of the best service I've had. Really incredible. They put bibs on you. Make sure you're prepared. And then, of course, we had to go to the famous Patty O'Brien's to get some hurricanes. I'd never had a hurricane before. Scratch that. I had a premix hurricane, and it basically is the same premix they use there. So, yeah, so that was it. Then on Thursday, we went to Chad and Sarah's meetup at Barrel Proof. That's where I met Doug, I think, for the first time. So great hanging with them. It's very dark. It's very dark in these videos. I don't know why. I guess it was kind of dark there. But yeah, so that kicked off the start. This was opening night of the New Orleans Bourbon Festival. They had a little VIP reception here. And then that brings us to the New Orleans Bourbons Festival. So let's take a pause here. Let's go back to this Old Forester that we poured ourselves a moment ago. Like I said, I didn't see them at the festival, but wanted to give a first impression. 1924, about 120-ish, $130. Adam says those bibs are essential for New Orleans barbecue shrimp. Mash bill is like early times bottle and bond, says Donnie. I think someone else said that too. Adam said it's basically early times barrels that were laid down before the sale and not included in the early times brand sale. Interesting. Okay. Good to know. Why was I even knows of this? Not quite what I expect from Old Forester. I think maybe it is leaning into that different flavor profile. Like, and it is a different mash bill, more corn, less rye. None of the like weird banana notes that I sometimes get on Old Forester. Sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. But yeah, it's a nice nose. I mean, you could tell it's very corn forward. It's almost got that like kind of dusty corn kind of note. But for a 10-year-old, I'm surprised that note's there. Usually with a 10-year-old, those notes will kind of mellowed out a bit, and they're more of the oaky, more caramel sweet notes. Yeah, but nose, I mean, it's definitely different than what I'm used to. But let's go ahead and give it a taste. Cheers, y'all, and thanks for watching. It's so good to see you. I see it's still dropping. I apologize. If it's really, really bad, I'll stop my router and restart it. If it's like tolerable, okay, tolerable is a strong word. If I look like I'm an 8-bit pixel on the screen, then maybe I'll restart. But if I look like, I don't know, let me try one more thing. It dropped again. So let me try one last thing. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Trying one last thing. All right. Give me 1 second. It should still stay connected. It's going to be real quick. Here we go. All right. Maybe we're reconnecting. Give it a moment. Can you hear me? I'm a little blurry, but potentially better. Potentially. We'll see. All right. It's just stuttering. Yeah, but I hate that. I don't want you guys have a bad experience, especially those of you watching live. I know usually with the replay it fixes it, but if you're watching live, I don't want you guys to miss out. So I want to make sure it's all good before we go in for the taste. All right. That's the last thing I'm trying. I'm going to stop tinkering with things. If this doesn't improve things, then we'll just roll with it for the rest of the stream, and I'll make sure it's fixed before next week's stream. Donnie, I might call on you at some point to like help me out. All right, cheers, y'all. Let's try the Old Forester 1924. Oh, okay. Okay. I don't. Okay. I'm thinking. I like it a lot, and I see that Adam says that him and Donnie are the only ones in their local group that really enjoy it. I'm with you guys. I really like this. This is actually great. It's one of my favorite Old Forester products. Um, the problem is, I think the price. I think that's what a lot of people are complaining about, right? Like it's not that it's a bad whiskey. I actually prefer this over the 1920, maybe even the 1910. I'd have to do a comparison. I like this palette. I like that extra corn forward note. I think it actually benefits it. Thank you, Donnie. I tried. The yellow isn't showing up very well because I have this bright neon sign above it, but I appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, Baker drinks like it. Glad to hear that you guys like it too. Yeah, I think it's good. Is it overpriced? Yeah, I think it is. Hopefully, it'll come down once the hype kind of goes down a bit. But that's solid. That is really good. Yeah, Donnie says my issue with it. Yeah, first review of the day. I'm feeling pretty confident. So we got 2 more whiskeys to review here, but I'm going to go back to my New Orleans Bourbon Festival story, tell you a little bit more about my experience. So let's see if this comes back up. I wish I could resize myself. Like I'm so little. Can I like full screen this? Will that help? I don't know if it'll let me full screen it. I can like maximize it. That's not going to help, is it? No. Okay. Well. All right. So this It's day one of the tasting. So let's go back. Let's talk real talk. So my schedule. Let me not have that visible right now because I'm gonna have a lot of like info here that probably shouldn't be on the screen. All right, so my schedule for the 2 days of the tasting, basically Friday and Saturday were the main days of the festival. I had a full schedule of some. Very first one I signed up for on Thursday was Smoke Wagon. And there were a lot of other good options too. I know Buzzards Roosted one as well. But I wanted to meet the folks from Smoke Wagon because never met them. And they're based in Las Vegas, which I go to very, very frequently. By the way, 10 a.m. in New Orleans after a night on Bourbon Street. Not always the best thing to do, but I did it. I did it, powered through. Yeah, so we showed up, got there, sat around a little bit, sat around a little bit more. Fortunately, we were told that the folks there had been a miscommunication, and the folks from Smoke Wagon had not appeared for that seminar. So the founder of the event actually came out and apologized, and I appreciate the transparency and willingness to do that and take ownership. So that it was his fault, but he did come out and tell us, that's what happened. However, to make up for it, they decided that what, we got some pretty exclusive barrels here that we're selling, as available to like single barrel picks for the festival. So it's like, let's bring them all out and let you guys walk around the room and well, they walked around the room and poured them for us. So it's 10 a.m., right? Like we had not had what we had bread. What do we had? We had coffee. We didn't even have like a pastry or anything. 10 a.m. Several bottles flying towards us, including these that I'm gonna show photos of. What a way to make up for it, because they were coming around giving us some things that I had never even heard of. Like this is one of them, Backyard Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This is a New Orleans brand. Now, as far as I'm aware, it is a sourced whiskey. It's 10 years old, but this was a cask strength release. This is actually the first. Yeah, cask strength, 10-year-old whiskey, bourbon actually. So I was off to a good start. There was at least 8 pours at 10 a.m. And one of them was this bottle, which, spoiler alert, was one of the bottles I bought. I only bought 2 bottles this entire festival. This is one of them. Now, I'm not going to speak too much on Dark Arts. It's actually my first time hearing of the brand. I had never tried their stuff before. But I really, really enjoyed them. So much so that they're going to be on my stream in about 2-ish weeks. I think it's either 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now. They're actually sending me their full flight of samples. Their creator is going to join me. And we're going to have a full Dark Art stream. So again, I don't want to spoil it by opening this and reviewing it today, but just keep an eye out. This is the brand to look out for. It was one of my favorites of the festival. Not just this expression, but all of their stuff. This 7-year, now I think it is an Indiana. Yeah. 7-year Indiana whiskey, bourbon whiskey, finished in white port wine cask. Now it's at cask strength coming in at, okay, that looked like 111.8 proof. So yeah, this is a standout for sure, but we're gonna get to that later. So yeah, that was the actually the people that come to save the day after they passed around all these bottles. You can kind of see the bottles lined up here. That's the Dark Arts, and then the Backyard. There's a couple Still Austin Expressions and more. But of course, who other than Bernie Lovers and shoot, I forget his name, the master distiller of Heaven Hill. What's his name? Shoot, Connor O'Driscoll. Okay, there we go. Connor O'Driscoll came up and tasted us through some Heaven Hill products. Now they were just, of course, nothing too crazy. It was larceny. It was on, but still, again, we're talking 8 pours at 10 a.m. So it was a pretty incredible start to the festival. So we were feeling good. We were feeling good. Now the next one we went to was actually, so pull up my schedule so I can make sure I can follow along. Was Bourbon Through Bluegrass. Now this was, of course, led by Bernie Lovers. Again, we saw him yet again. Like I said, he saved the day and then he came. And yeah, it was a good time. Now this one, I think, how did I get four? Oh yeah, okay. I'm getting ahead of myself. So that was fun. The next tasting was a Four Roses tasting with Brent Elliott. Had never met the guy. He was great. We tried, as you can see, we tasted through the standard one, the small batch, single barrel, and small batch select. Those of you that know me, small batch select is my favorite Four Roses expression. So still my favorite, even out of all of these. Nothing crazy, no special pours necessarily, but still a great time getting to know Brent. Um, yeah, so they actually Four Roses. Okay, so I told you that we got pretty drunk at that first tasting, right? Well, Four Roses, not only did they give us those four pours, they paired a cocktail with every single pour. So we had four cocktails, four pours. So by noon, I had had at least 16 different whiskeys / cocktails. Now, thankfully, this is at our hotel, so I didn't have to travel far. But I'm setting the stage for what's to come with the later part of the story. Stick around. I'm trying to keep up with the chat, so I apologize if I miss some stuff. Donnie says the name seems like a copy of the Bruichladdich dark art. Oh, I don't know. I'm not familiar with that one. Tony says, pick waiting for me at Benny's. Anyone available to give me a ride? And Tony says Brent can pick a mean barrel. Yeah, no, he was great. It was great getting to know him and learn a little more about the brand I wasn't super familiar with. But yeah, so that was that. I was feeling real good at that point. We had a little lunch break. Now for lunch was provided. And by lunch being provided, I mean they were just like finger sandwiches. Like that's it. A couple of like ham sandwich, an egg salad sandwich. And by sandwich, I mean like literally just like a slice of a sandwich. Like not even a half, not a quarter, a slice. Now you could get as many as you wanted, sure. But you were in a long line of other people. You didn't want to be that guy that got too many things. So yeah. So we had a very light lunch after 16 different pours / cocktails. But then it was not the end of the event because then we had to go meet up with our good friends again, Chad and Sarah, a blind flight. So they basically just poured four bottles, didn't give us any info on them whatsoever. But so as you can see the bottles there, that was after the reveal. It was Mellow Corn, Maker's 101, Four Roses Single Barrel, and Still Austin Caster. Now the funny thing is, everyone guessed Mellow Corn, and a lot of us were in that session with Bernie Lubbers earlier, who poured Mellow Corn. So it was fresh on our palate. I think everyone. I felt kind of bad because like I feel like they were Chad and were planning to trick folks with that, but yeah, we all guessed it was Mellow Corn. Actually, the Still Austin surprised a lot of folks. I would have never known. And that's the one thing I said during this. I was like, I actually tried this Caster Still Austin earlier and didn't love it, but blind, it was my favorite. So that's the beauty of a blind flight. And Chad and Sarah are pros at it. So yeah, of course, of course we've known them for several years, so always good to see them. Yeah. So next up, it was still going. What time is it at this point on the agenda? That was at 2 p.m. This is at 3:15. This is a tasting with Bardstown Bourbon Company. So yeah, they gave us 4 different pours. They gave us different items to pair with the pours. So the first one was the Origin Series. It was a 6-year of their own bourbon. They paired it with some Pop Rocks. Next was the Origin Series Bottled in Bond, also a 6-year. I'd never had this one before. They paired that with a dried apricot, I think it was. The Origin Series Rye Single Barrel, which was does this say 6? Maybe it's a 6-year rye. 6-year of their own rye paired with a tea bag. That was for smelling, not eating. And then lastly, it was the new Discovery Series. I think it's number. My camera's not that good. Is that 11? Discovery Series 11. They paired it with a Jolly Rancher. So that one's 73% Kentucky 13-year, probably Barton. 21% Kentucky 10-year. I don't know. And Bardstown Bourbon Company. So really cool. Really cool pairing. Never done a Pop Rocks whiskey pairing. So it was definitely a challenge, but I honestly appreciated it a lot. So so your palate wasn't completely right after 60 pours. Honestly, not at that point. It was not. Donnie, we'll get to that. Brad said he wishes he had a drink. Well, Brad, I mean, unless there's a reason you're not drinking, pour a drink. Join us. Well done, dried gyoza. I can see that. All right. Yeah, no, it was not. Oh, not Barton, most likely Beam. For the older one, the 13-year one? Okay. Maybe. Maybe the 21 year. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Honestly, I'll be honest, none of these were especially memorable for me. I've not traditionally been the biggest old Barcelona Bourbon Company fan, but it was a fun pairing. I loved doing the different pairings. The Jolly Rancher actually paired best. But yeah, so that was that. Then we went to the oh, it's gonna zoom in. Hold on. Yes, these are the bottles that we tried. So this is the I was trying to see which one that one says. I can't read it. Oh, that's the rye. So it's rye whiskey finished in a toasted sherry wood and oak barrel. So that was a 6-year rye, the Origin series and the Discovery series. So yeah, pretty cool lineup. Again, not the old Barstow Bourbon Company has not always been my favorite, but it was always cool to try new stuff from them. Yeah. So so speaking of Cliffy, okay. So after all that, right? We had done that. We actually I don't have any photos from the last one. I did a Still Austin tasting, and it was my absolute favorite of these seminars. It was a oh god, it was so fun. I wish I had a video of it. Dang. Okay. Still Austin. Let me just talk about it. Still Austin. I love Still Austin, especially Chris Seals, their master distiller. Really great guy. We hung out with him quite a bit during this festival. Um, he had a very fun seminar where he gave us a blend. So he basically gave us 4 or 5 bottles. I'm talking like 375, pretty good sized bottles full of whiskey. Then he gave us a bottle filled with a blend. And he said, whoever can get closest to this blend wins. Now, I don't know if there was a prize or not. I don't actually remember. But what we had to do is we had to blend those 4 different whiskeys to get something close flavor wise to his blend. So it was so much fun. I was there with Todd. I forgot who all was there. Justin was there, obviously, but we had a pretty good team. So we were blending, and then we eventually, came up with our blend that we were pretty positive about. That we were like, this is the closest we think we can get this to, and we weren't that far off. I think we had 2 swapped that should have our percentages. Like everything was pretty on point. So I was pretty proud of myself. I felt really confident. It's actually so funny enough. Chris gave me one of the bottles. I don't know if it was like part of the blend or whatever. He's like, you can take this if you want. So like it's set in my hotel room. It's like cast straight from the barrel, Still Austin. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. It was really crazy. So that was definitely my favorite seminar of the festival. But this is where things go a little downhill. So so I was told that there was going to be food at the grand tasting, which we got early access to because we had VIP tickets. And there apparently was. Do I remember there being food at that first night of the tasting? I do not. I do not. So, all I had eaten that day was the finger sandwiches, and I have had 25 plus pours throughout the day. I line up. I'm hanging with Todd. We're having a great time. As you can see in that photo that I just put up there. Yeah, we're in line. Really, really cool chair. Now, the wind was blowing. Don't touch me too much. We're waiting in line to go in for the grand tasting. So we went in. And that's the last photo I have of Friday night. I remember going in. I remember picking up my glass. They gave us little wee glens for the festival. I remember going straight to the Sarah. Sarah was in there. I remember going to the Heaven Hill booth because you always try to go when you're going into the very beginning. You want to get all the special pours that people bring. They had the 20-year mellow corn, so I had a chance to try that. That was fun. It was good. I didn't dislike it. It wasn't my favorite. Next up, I went over to this trail. It actually was the girl that Perry's had on the channel. I think her name's Haley. She's been on there several times, but I recognized her from Perry's streams, and I went up to her. I talked to her. I told her that I recognized her from Perry's streams. She's like, "Oh, I love Perry." I don't know how many of those I tasted at the Wilderness Trail booth. We talked for quite a bit. And remind you, this is a festival with like 30 different whiskey vendors, 10 plus food vendors. I don't remember anything past Wilderness Trail. This is the first night. So Cliffy, after finger sandwiches and over 25 pours, did not make it to the grand tasting. He got his mellow corn cast strength, the 20-year, and he got his Wilderness Trail. That was it. That's all I remember. I don't. That's why I literally asked Todd the next day. I'm like, was there food there? And he's like, there were like at least 10 food vendors. So yes, Cliffy did not survive the first night of the grand tasting of the New Orleans Bourbon Festival. But you know what? That's why I paid for. Oh no, I said Perry. Sorry, it was who Perry had on his channel. I think her name was Haley, if I remember correctly. She's the Wilderness Trail brand rep. I think they'd known each other for a while, but yeah. So so that was my first night. Cliffy did not make it through his first night of the New Orleans Bourbon Festival. So that's that. Now, before we go into night 2, I'm gonna go ahead and review my next whiskey of the night. I know I'm getting low on time, but it's okay. We're almost done. So my next one is actually a new one for me from Heaven Hill. So a few months back, I reviewed the did I? Okay, now I'm very confused. Did I grab the wrong bottle? Hold on. Have I reviewed this already? Probably. Hold on. Let's see if I've already reviewed this. I think So last year they sent me a sample of the Bernheim A223. That's it. Okay. So I reviewed that. So there was apparently a B batch last year. I didn't get it. Lying. Just kidding. Other way around. Last year I got the B923 Bernheim. That was my very first Bernheim barrel proof I got sent. Did not get the A batch last year. This year they sent me the A batch of 24. So this is Bernheim A224. 125.2 proof, 62.6% ABV. Clifton thought I was serious. What? I think you were serious. Oh. Okay. You guys are joking about something that I missed. But yeah, so this is the Bernheim straight wheat whiskey. Now, the press release says this one is 51% wheat, 37% corn, and 12% malted barley. Same as the standard Bernheim. This barrel proof release is about, I believe it's 7 years old. Yeah. Oh, so hold on, 7 to 9 years old. So the lowest age in this blend is 7. The oldest is 9. So again, the B batch last year, thought was okay. Was not, a personal favorite of mine. It didn't make my top 10 of the year. But I'm excited to give it another try with the A224. Let's give it a nose. I do like this on the nose. Donnie says he just picked this up this week. A224, really enjoyed it. Oh, nice. Yeah, I just remember last year it just didn't quite do it for me, but I'm excited to give it another try. I mean, that's a classic Heaven Hill nose. It's soft, which I think is coming from the wheat. It's still 37% corn, but there's none of that spice that you typically would get from a Heaven Hill product. Yeah, but it smells like it's in the same family as like a Larceny. I actually wanted to do a comparison between this and the latest Larceny, but in the panicked moment of not making a Sazerac, I did not grab the Larceny. So we just have this today. By the way, if you guys, thank y'all for sticking around. We got 10 minutes left, but I seriously appreciate y'all tuning in live or watching the replay. It does mean a lot. I'm here every Thursday. Make sure to subscribe. All right. Anyways, love the nose. Let's go and give it a taste. Cheers. Oh, that's kind of oddly minty. I wasn't expecting a bit of a mint note. Mint I usually associate with a rye. It's not like that spicy mint. I mean, it's spicy because of the proof, right? But it's not. That's surprising. On a wheat whiskey. Donnie, let me know what notes you got on this. I'm curious because I know you and I think we said it before, we have similar palates. We like similar things, especially when it comes to Old Forester, like the 1924. To me, it's got a bit of a minty character to it, which is surprising. I like it. Love you too, Fred. It's got a sweeter, darker undertone, almost like a French vanilla, not quite like a sweet, like artificial vanilla or like vanilla extract. It's more of like a darker. I don't. I mean, to be fair, I don't actually know. This is an Emily question. I don't know if she's here tonight, but she's amazing with tasting notes. But it's like to me, it's like a darker, richer vanilla, which for some reason I associate with French vanilla. I don't know if that's true, but it's that and a mint. Like I don't know if a vanilla mint is like a thing. Peppermint's no pepper. I think of a peppermint candy, right? Like it has like that. I don't know, it's got like but that's good. Anyways, ignore my tasting notes. That's good. That's actually a contender for one of my top whiskeys of the year. Wow. And this is what I thought. This is one that I tried before. I like this a lot. It surprises me. Is Bernheim getting to the point? Remember when Larceny Barrel Proof first came out, and we were like, miss, and then 2022 came around. Oh, better. 23. Ooh, I like this. I think that's what's happening with Bernheim. I think we're finally getting to this is surprisingly good. I like this. This is A224 Bernheim cask strength. Give it a try. Really complex. I mean, I like that they stuck with 51% wheat, so it's not like 100% wheat. Got a lot of flavor coming through there, man. That's a great pour. Love this. Donnie says it was a pleasantly bready note, mallard note. Oh, what is mallard? Right, when I see mallard, I think duck. You get a duck note. I get where the dark is coming from. The mallard note I was picking up on. Yeah, I don't know what a mallard is, but hopefully, maybe not duck. I mean, nothing wrong with eating duck. I don't prefer duck, but I don't think you're talking about duck. Fred says he liked the first Bernheim cask strength. Now, Fred, is that the one that was released before they put the batch numbers on it? Because I've heard good things about that one, but the B, I didn't have the first one. I had the B5 B923 last year. This is the A223. It's throwing me off because the numbering is different than the Larceny and the Elijah Craig. Honestly, it took me a minute. When I saw BCS, actually, I read that as Barrel Craft Spirits. I was confused for half a second, but it also could be Bourbon County Stout. But I put the connection together. Maillard, the browning when cooking. Okay, yeah, I don't cook. But the A123, gotcha. Okay. Oh, Emily is here. Hello, Emily. Sorry, I didn't realize that. I didn't acknowledge that you were here. Good to see you. French vanilla means egg custard. Vanilla tasting would be interesting. Oh yeah, because I know that bourbon vanilla is a type of vanilla. And there's also Madagascar. There's a lot of vanillas. I'm definitely not a vanilla expert. Sugar Katie says vanilla itself is an extremely simple flavor. It's only one chemical. Gotcha. And it's when you get to the different styles of it that kind of makes it more complex. That's really interesting. Maybe we'll do a vanilla tasting. I don't know how I can go about that, but if y'all have ideas, let me know. I like that a lot. All right, so let's get into night 2, the final day of the New Orleans Bourbon Festival. Let's go. All right, let me pull up my schedule because again, that was a rough one. I had actually signed up early 10 a.m. tasting again the next day with Peerless, which I love Peerless. I love the folks at Peerless. I love the distillery tour. But 10 a.m. after that night, yeah, I woke up. I set my alarm to an appropriate time. I woke up. I'm like, oh god, I feel awful. Let me just like go back to sleep and wake back up at like 9:15. The tasting was at 10. Like, let me wake up at 9:15, see how I feel. I woke up, felt a little bit better, but not like willing to get up and get ready and go to the tasting. So I just basically made the call. I'm going to skip this one. So I heard it was great. Todd said it was great. They had some amazing. They gave them toasted barrels, some barrels proof. I don't think I could handle it. Like I don't know if it's not that it would like make me get sick or anything. It's just when I have a night of like heavy drinking like that, I get really bad acid reflux. So I'll get to that story next with the next few pours that we had. So let me pull up my photos again. So the next one was a tasting again with Connor O'Driscoll from Heaven Hill. Of course, the first time was unplanned. The second time he was just in the audience for Bernie's a session. But yeah, so he did a Heaven Hill tasting, and man, oh man, was this great. So we started with the Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond, which, it's funny. I actually brought a bottle of this as my room bottle. I don't know if you guys, when you guys travel, but do you guys have a bottle in your room just in case you want to pregame before going out? We do. This was actually the exact bottle that we brought to our room. So we started with that one. I had it in my glass. my acid just I struggled. I'm like, oh my god, and it's 100 proof, right? So I'm like, oh god, what have I done to myself? How am I gonna get through today? But I took baby sips. I followed it, I chased it with some water. I got through it. I will say, that kind of I set my palate up with that. Thankfully, I did because the next one thing I tasted at the festival. Now, I did say that the dark art was the big surprise. I really loved it. Scores alone, that William Heaven Hill. This was the 15-year Kentucky straight bourbon at 54.5%, 109 proof, um, distillery exclusive. Amazing. This is heaven in a bottle, dare I say it. But honestly, even though I suffered through the burn of this one, I enjoyed the heck out of it because it's everything I want. High proof, 15-year-old Heaven Hill. I mean, one of the best whiskeys I've ever tasted. Honestly, like I don't know what year this came out. I don't know if it's an older release or not, but the things I would do for that bottle. And then lastly, the last thing we tried was actually the you know what's funny? The Heaven Hill Heritage Collection. Is this that line that Perry was talking about on his stream? The where all the different distilleries come out with like an exclusive bottling? Because I feel like literally 2 hours ago, I've never had anything from that collection. And then I'm looking at a photo of the 17-year Heaven Hill. Is that from that same thing where all the distilleries released a heritage collection, or am I thinking of something else? Those of you who were on Perry's stream, he mentioned this, so maybe it was the same thing. But apparently, I have had it. Actually, oh shit! You know what? Someone said that the Heaven Hill, was it Todd that said the Heaven Hill one? No, that was not Todd. That was Brian Brennicky. Okay. So maybe this is that bottle. I don't know. The chat's a little delayed, so I don't actually know. But the 17-year Heaven Hill, it was at Cask Strength. Oh, Bardstown Collection. Thank you, Adam. Okay, I was getting a little confused. Thank you for the clarification. Tony said the things I would do to that bottle. I mean, you know what? You do what you want to the bottle. But yeah, so the 17-year Heaven Hill Heritage Collection, also great. It was cask strength. We're talking like 60 plus percent ABV. Cliffy, after a night of drinking, could not handle it. I even added like quite a bit of water. It just, cask strength whiskey that early for me after a night of drinking did not hit the right place. It tasted fabulous. The flavor profile was fantastic, but actually, in that moment, I preferred the William Heaven Hill. It was perfect. The proof was perfect. The age, I would pick that bottle over that. Actually, I asked her, and I asked my husband, I asked Todd and his friend. We all said the William Heaven Hill was our favorite. So I'm not crazy, but yeah. So that was actually probably the best exclusive pour I had during the event. This uh, is my first time really getting to know the brand of uh, Limestone Branch. So I've had Yellowstone. I've had Yellowstone and LE, but we did a tasting of Limestone Branch, going through their rye, their bourbon, their different cask finishes, and honestly, it really impressed me. I think I liked the rye was like kind of okay. They had a special rye in a special bottle. I forgot what it was called. I really like the Tokai cask finish. I like that one a lot. This was 5 pours, so Cliffy from the previous day was like, "Oh no, here we go. Let's calm down." So this was 5 pours. I got through them all. It was a struggle, but I got through them all. Yeah, and it was so great. It was so great hearing their story and getting to meet them. One of my favorite tastings. So I said that about everything, right? Next up, we went to the Sazerac house, which, as I mentioned, I am drinking a Sazerac here. Yeah, I had a great time. It's a free tour. Had never been. Yeah, it was really cool. But too late. Where are we? We are on Saturday night, the last night of the New Orleans Bourbon Festival. And I still have one more whiskey to review. So right on time, Barry. I'm running a little over. I promise, guys, I'll wrap up in the next 10, 15 minutes. Appreciate y'all sticking around. So yeah, we did the Sazerac house. It was a free tasting of three different cocktails. Had never been. It was really cool to talk about these bitters that we were drinking earlier. And yeah, so not to skim through that, but I'm realizing I'm behind. So there was one last tasting I wanted to go to, which was, of course, the infamous Freddie Johnson from Buffalo Trace. He actually hosted a Buffalo Trace tasting that the expressions were pretty basic. It was, Buffalo Trace, E.H. Taylor's small batch, and Eagle Rare, as well as their white dog. But my favorite part of him was one, his incredible storytelling capabilities. Two, just his methods of like tasting things different ways. He had a thing where you put like the water in your mouth first, and then you put a little bit of whiskey in. I'd never tried that before, and it was really cool. It actually helped a lot with my acid reflux. I will tell you that. But yeah, no, it was absolutely a treat meeting him. And really, that was the last session I went to for the whole event. Then we went to dinner. What did I do? I forgot what I did for dinner. I promise I remembered at the moment, but I think we did oysters. I think we did charbroiled oysters from. I think we went to. There's two places we went to. One we actually preferred. Now I'm going to pull up my Google Maps to find out which one we went to that we really liked. The one that we thought was kind of just mediocre was one of the most famous ones for it, for their charbroiled oysters. But the one that was actually our favorite. Okay, let me see. I got my map here. Yeah, the one that was kind of just okay. Shoot, I'm trying to find it now. It's down by the riverfront, near the Hilton. Gosh, I'm not even thinking of it right now. But anyways, Drago's. Drago's is the one that we tried. That wasn't that great. However, we went to another place the next day to try theirs. And that was... I say favorites, guys, I promise. That was Felix's restaurant. And we loved Felix's charbroiled oysters. One of the favorite things we ate on the whole trip. It was really, really great. So I recommend that over the Drago's, personally. So it was great. Swan said he's been here. Okay. I don't know if we're talking about Drago's or New Orleans Bourbon Festival. Oh, no, you've been here in the chat. You have been here. I know. I said hello to you earlier. But yeah. Anyways, great time getting to meet Freddie and go through his tasting. Those are the oysters that I was talking about at Drago's. They were good, but the ones at Felix's were better. Yeah, food pictures. I take a lot of food pictures. Anyways, last night of the tasting. As you can tell, there's a lot of whiskey there. A lot of whiskey. And Cliffy did not make an appearance, even though it looks like it. Again, I was outside. It was a long day. It was windy. It was windy the last couple of days we were there. Yeah. I remember the last night's tasting, which is incredible because the first night I don't remember anything. I had incredible food. I had incredible whiskeys. The craziest whiskey I had at that thing was the Crown Royal, the 23-year-old apple flavored whiskey. The one that I'm like, what is this? There's the Crown Royal Regal apple that was like 23 years old or something. Had to try it. It was good. It was like a better version of the regular Crown Royal apple. Would I pay the $200 to $300 for it? Absolutely not. But we had a great time. I tried a lot of great things. I made a lot of great connections. I actually picked up business. So look forward to some new guests on the channel in the next few months. I'm really, really excited to reach out to these brands. Hopefully you guys are excited to see some of these really cool brands come up with new innovative products because I loved every minute of it. I would go back for sure. Maybe not next year, maybe take another year off, but I definitely feel like I want to go back to New Orleans sometime soon. I'd love to go back and just try more food. By the way, we did a swamp boat tour the next day. If you follow my Instagram, you can see some of those photos. But yeah, we had an excellent time, a fantastic first trip to New Orleans. Would absolutely go back. I don't want to go to the Bourbon Festival. I don't think it's something I would go to yearly necessarily, but maybe every 2 or 3 years, I would absolutely go back. So had a blast. Really great food, great drinks, great company. Loved it. Oh, the Golden Apple, yes. Yeah, Baker Drew said, do you plan to go again someday? Yeah, like I said, I don't think it's something I would do every year, but it's something that maybe every couple years. I would love to go to like a Kentucky Bourbon Festival. Maybe Tennessee. I don't know. Tennessee does a lot of whiskey festivals. LA does them, but they're pretty small scale and they're usually just one night. So would absolutely love to do another bourbon festival like this again soon. Had a fantastic time. But before I go, I do have one more whiskey to review. Richie Z, hello. I saw you in the chat, but I was on a tangent. Lastly, it was a festival exclusive single barrel cask strength from Still Austin. This was picked exclusively for this New Orleans Bourbon Festival. Let me see if it'll focus. Come on. There's a face there. How are you struggling? How are you struggling? There's literally a face. There we go. Yeah, so this was a grain to glass exclusive for New Orleans Bourbon Festival. It's a straight bourbon whiskey coming in at 116 proof. The barrel number is 2018 1109. 1920, 21, 22, 24. So about almost a 6-year-old, I imagine, a 6-year-old straight bourbon whiskey. I love Still Austin. Again, I raved about them earlier, but let's try this. I actually did not get a chance to try this at the festival, but it's one of the 2 bottles that I bought at it. So let's give it a try. I hope it's good. Like I said, I did it earlier in the night and I didn't love it, but then I tried it at Chad and Sarah's and loved it. So let's see how this single barrel. I've not tried any of their single barrels before, so I'm excited. I mean, technically, I guess I have when I did that blending experiment with Chris, but yeah. So basically, but never had an official single barrel before. Perry says he has that shirt. Which shirt? Still Austin? My shirt? Okay, maybe. I have no idea where I got this. I got off work like 2 hours before my stream. I had my performance review today, so I had to look a little nice. No, I say I look a little nice. I guess the button up, but whatever. It's fine. Fred says, I bet that's really good. I have the Bourbon Fest Still Austin pick from 2022, and it's delicious. Oh, really? That's all. You still have it. I'd love to swap samples. I'd love to have you try this one and compare. The one I'm wearing. Okay. Oh, the one I was wearing. Oh, in the photo? I don't even know what I was wearing. Was it it's Bourbonite shirt? Oh, no, it's just a button up. Okay. Good to know. We have the similar sense of style, Perry. But yeah, it smells great on the nose. I mean, Still Austin is probably my favorite Texas distillery. I know there's some other ones doing some really incredible experimental stuff, but Still Austin just as a solid straight bourbon whiskey, they're my favorite. So let's go ahead and try this. The one you are wearing. Okay. Oh, thank you for clarifying, Perry. We're not going to go. We've already been on this tangent long enough. Let's move on. Let's move on, Perry. All right. Let's try the Still Austin single barrel store pick. Not store pick, festival pick. Cheers. Ooh. Oh, man. I am so this. Oh, my gosh. It was only like $60. Man, that is probably, dare I say, the best Still Austin I've ever had. Like I said, I've never had their single barrels before, but I've had their cask strength, and this, man, this blows my mind. Honestly, I'm gonna say this. I think it might be my favorite thing we've had tonight, even compared to the Old Forest from 1924. This Still Austin single barrel is just. I don't even think, I said it's my favorite Texas whiskey. It's one of my favorite bourbons. Like, surprisingly, they do a really good bourbon. Out of any state I've seen outside of Indiana and Kentucky, Still Austin really does make great bourbon. Going back to the 1924, just one last little taste. I like the flavor profile. All 3 pours we tried tonight were great. They're all contenders. Well, I guess technically they're all contenders in my top 10 of the year, which you guys know. I put together at the end of every year. I go through my favorite. And they're not necessarily the favorite like limited edition things. I don't get all those, but the favorite things I've bought or tried on the channel. All 3 of these tonight are contenders. Yeah, Still Austin rocks. Richie says everything I've tried from Still Austin is great. Johnny says, does Still Austin not have the normal Texas funk? Not at all. Not at all. Honestly, if I was blinded with Still Austin, I would guess. I feel like my first instinct guess would be Indiana. It does not have Texas funk at all, and maybe that's what I like about it. Johnny says he likes Texas funk, but Fred agrees that this does not have that. This, again, it tastes like any other good quality bourbon, and that's what I love about them. I love them as a brand. I love their art. They feature local artists on their bottles. There's a local artist's work. Plus, Chris is just amazing. So this is incredible. I should have bought 2, honestly. Sugar Kitty says Still Austin single barrel picks are so dense, dark, and complex for not a huge amount of money. Agree with you 100% there. Yeah. That's true. Nancy Fraley does have some involvement in some of their styles and how they get their stuff done. So, yeah, huge fan of Still Austin. We'll see. All 3 of these might be in my top 10 of the year, but we'll find out. Like I said, coming up soon, we have a live stream with Dark Arts, which is my favorite bottle that I think I other than, of course, the William Heaven Hill. The favorite bottle that I picked up during the festival, that stream is going to be, let me check, April 18th. So a couple weeks away. What is that? 3 weeks away. I'm going to have the folks from Dark Arts on. We're going to try not only this one, which was 7-year white port wine cask finished bourbon, but we're going to try their core lineup, plus maybe a special pour. So stick around, hit subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. If you enjoyed tonight's show, thank y'all for sticking a little bit overtime. I appreciate you all dealing with my video technical issues. I'll try to get them solved before next week. But until next time, this has been Bourbon Bytes. Those of you that are part of our after party, everyone the high proof is getting me. Everyone $10 and up on Patreon. Head over to our Discord. We're gonna do our after party hangout. /Bourbon Bytes if you guys want to get in on that. But until next time, this has been Bourbon Bytes. Cheers. Sorry. So one last comment I want to say. Fred said I wouldn't say Harbinger has a funk. No, Harbinger is also one of the other ones that doesn't have that Kentucky funk for me. Or not Kentucky funk, Texas funk. One of the few, though. One of the few. Still Austin and Harbinger. Okay. Yeah, so if you like our Harbinger, Donnie, you're going to like Still Austin. All right. Thank you, Sugar Kitty. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you next week. And until then, cheers. This has been Bourbon Bytes Whiskey Reviews with an 80s twist. And stay tuned. Some fun stuff coming up. Some very fun guests. Cheers.